Hi, and welcome to Out of My Mind. My name is Robison Wells, and today we're going to be talking about 6 misconceptions that people have about schizophrenia. All right, the first misconception that people have about schizophrenia is that it is rare. The truth is that 1 in 100 people have schizophrenia. It's actually about 1.1% of the population. To put this in some perspective, that's 3 million people in the United States, and it is twice as common of a disease as HIV and AIDS. It is really prevalent out there. Psychology Today wrote about it and made this comparison. They said that on any given average day, Disney World gets 52,000 visitors. So on any average day, they get about 580 schizophrenic visitors. So that is a lot. That's enough to fill 11 Greyhound buses. So schizophrenia is not rare, it's often just hidden really well. Misconception number 2, schizophrenia gives you multiple personalities. This one is very common. There was a survey done in 2006 where people were looking at the perceptions that people had about schizophrenia, and 64% of respondents thought that schizophrenia gives you multiple personalities. It does not. There is some confusion because the term schizophrenia means a splitting of the mind, but what that is referring to is not multiple personalities. It's talking about how the mind compartmentalizes things like personality and thinking and memory and perception. But you don't have multiple personalities with that. That is from a different disorder called dissociative identity. Misconception number 3, schizophrenia makes you violent. Now, this is a misconception depending on how we're judging, because schizophrenics are more likely than a neurotypical person to be violent, but the misconception is that it's common, and the truth is that there's only a small difference. In the American criminal justice system, there are 4% of violent crimes were caused by people with some sort of psychosis, which can refer to schizophrenia, bipolar, or major depression. So, yes, 4% is more significant than the 1.1%. There are definitely people with schizophrenia are overrepresented in that sample, but the vast majority of people with schizophrenia never have violent attitudes towards themselves or to other people. In fact, it is a case, as with all of mental illness, but especially schizophrenia, uh, schizophrenics are more likely to be the victims of violent crime than the perpetrators of it. Misconception number 4, schizophrenia can't be treated. Schizophrenia, there is still some controversy as to whether schizophrenia can be cured entirely, and most psychiatrists believe that no, it can't be cured entirely, but it can definitely be treated uh, through medicine. Medicine controls symptoms in a vast majority of schizophrenics who seek medical help. And then also uh, cognitive behavioral therapy helps. Part of the reason why this is a misconception is that only 1/3, it's estimated, only 1/3 of schizophrenics actually seek out and have consistent treatment. So, yes, a lot of people are not being treated and their schizophrenia gets bad, but when they do seek treatment, uh, it is a manageable disease. Misconception number 5, schizophrenia is caused by bad parenting. This is a leftover misconception from the early days of studying schizophrenia. In 1950, a psychiatrist coined the term schizophrenogenic and referred to schizophrenogenic mothers. Schizophrenic is a word that means something causes schizophrenia, and they linked it to mothers, saying that schizophrenogenic mothers, their behavior led to children having schizophrenia. That is no longer a thing that psychiatrists believe. As with almost any mental illness, the underlying causes are usually part genetic and part environmental. As far as parents causing it, the only link is that a high stress childhood can hide symptoms and make it harder for early detection of schizophrenia, which can allow schizophrenia to get worse. But those high stress situations don't cause schizophrenia. Finally, the last one is paranoid schizophrenia is a thing. This is a very common misconception because up until a year and a half ago, when a new diagnostic and statistical manual came out, there was such a thing as paranoid schizophrenia. Paranoid schizophrenia was a subcategory of schizophrenia, along with 4 others, which were disorganized schizophrenia, catatonic schizophrenia, undifferentiated schizophrenia, and residual schizophrenia. Doctors have since decided that those terms are not accurate or helpful in the diagnosis and treatment of people with schizophrenia, and so those are no longer part of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. All right, that is the 6 misconceptions about schizophrenia. If you have any others that you have heard and want to discuss, please leave a comment in the comment section and we'll get to those. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you like what you see, please hit subscribe and give this video a like. And I will see you next week.